has acted on this is to be condemned in the highest possible order. We are an organization which is highly credible. We operate in 50 countries of the world. We ask difficult questions, and I think for that the government is actually quite cagey. I would even go to the extent and say scared of Greenpeace, and they don't want to hear the truth. And this is the fundamental issue. My question is on two things. Who defines national interest? How can Priya Pillai be treated like a criminal? I believe she has got a lookout notice. A lookout notice is issued to criminals. Is Priya Pillai a criminal? I want a direct answer from the Ministry of Home Affairs and this secretive agency called the IB, which has been surfacing from time to time without really showing what it is and what it means to say.
Absolutely. Let me bring
I want Priya Pillai's passport to be given back to the government so that they delete the lookout stamp, because otherwise that is a fundamental issue which we going to fight with the government. This is a problem.
I'm going to stop you there. I'm running out of time. I'm going to stop you there. I want the Congress spokesman to have a chance to answer one specific question. I've heard you today, Mr. Singhvi, to my great relief, being deeply and sharply critical of the government. But your party at its daily press conferences, and remember 3 days have passed, has not raised this issue. Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, on a matter of fundamental civil liberties and rights of an Indian citizen, are silent. Why is the Congress, the official opposition, quiet? There's not a squeak out of you officially.
No, Karan, when I am speaking in the capacity of a Congress spokesperson, every word I say is on behalf of the party as well. So rest assured that we have taken the issue. There are several issues which we may have been taken at the podium or not, but this is clearly something on which we have spoken. And let me add that it's not important, Karan, what you say, I say, Mr. Dave says, or Mr. Siddharth Rajaranjan says. I think the cat is out of the bag on the last answer by the BJP representative. It is very clear, not only is it errant nonsense, but it's very clear that they have a very, very condemnable attitude in a blanket manner generally against all NGOs. Everybody is a foreign agent, a propagandist, because they speak a different voice. Now, I may actually disagree with many things that Pillai is doing, but that Voltaire's famous phrase that I will disagree with you vehemently but defend to death your right to disagree with me, that seems to be nowhere near this government's thinking, and that's the real point.
All right. There's a possibility, by the way, I'll say for the enlightenment of the audience, that Voltaire didn't say it, but that doesn't in any way diminish the sentiment. Regardless who said it, it's a sentiment that deserves to be upheld today. And Mr. Narasimha Rao, it's a sentiment in particular that you need to not just understand, but perhaps learn by heart. In a democracy, it is your duty as a party political spokesperson to defend the right of Indians to dissent with your party, not call them anti-national when they do so, and not accuse them of somehow selling the country's interests, because that's what you did today.
There has to be transparency, Karan.
There is transparency.
You cannot be echoing somebody else's sentiments.
Why can't you? If you believe them, you can.
Where is the transparency?
Forgive me, you echo Mr. Modi's sentiments. Why can't Priya Pillai echo someone else's? She has a right in a democracy to do so. I often echo people.
Karan, can I step into this? Karan, may I step into this debate?
Mr. H, I'm afraid we've run out of time at this terribly quarrelsome period.
Singhvi possibly does not know what's happening in the world.
Transparency,
let him find out and then come back to me.
All right. I'm glad you take that argument that Singhvi doesn't know what's happening in the world. Earlier, you were accusing me of similar ignorance. I'm sorry we've run out of time. My apologies, Mr. H, that we couldn't have you earlier. But this is clearly an issue of deep, fundamental concern to the Indian people. And the government should not make a mistake of believing that it will disappear and wash away quickly. Ministers have so far been silent, but it's an issue on which they must speak out and must assure us that as the government of our country, they respect the right of Indian citizens to dissent with them, to travel freely, and they will not abuse the law to withhold permission to travel wrongly. I believe an apology is probably owed. Maybe I'm wrong because I don't have the full facts, but at least an explanation is owed, and that explanation is clearly wanting. It's now up to the government to respond fully. Of course, this entirely depends on whether Mr. Modi and the BJP are concerned about the treatment of homosexuals in India. My guests are BJP spokesperson GVL Narasimha Rao, Congress spokesperson and MP Abhishek Singhvi, and the Supreme Court lawyer fighting the Naz Foundation case to decriminalize homosexuality, Anand Grover. Mr. Narasimha Rao, the recent offensive comments by one of your ministers in Goa have, for many people, once again focused attention on the need to decriminalize homosexuality so that the repeated insults and injustice done to this community stops. Let me ask you, where does your party stand on this issue of decriminalization?
Karan, on this issue, I think there has not been any conclusive idea about how to proceed, because the last time when the Supreme Court set aside the judgment of the High Court, Delhi High Court, I think our party at that time had welcomed the Supreme Court judgment, but of late there have been some other views also in the party. So I don't think there is a firmer view on this subject, but I certainly think this is a topic that requires discussion both within the party and across the political spectrum.
Mr. Singhvi, in your manifesto for the last national elections in May last year, your party said, and I'm quoting, "The Indian National Congress will enact a law to ensure that consensual sexual relations between adults of the same sex are not criminalized." Does your party stand by that position, or now that the elections are over, have you changed your mind?
You know that's not possible, Karan, and you know that's not true. The manifesto is in black and white. There cannot be an equivocation. You and I can point the finger on that clause and that you know that we are bound, otherwise it look pretty silly. But I want to tell you, Karan, that frequently it is forgotten that the crucial word in your formulation is decriminalization. I can understand if you are here to encourage homosexuality, or you are even legalizing homosexual marriages with various rights. That may happen in phase 2, but that's not the issue. The issue is behind closed doors or anywhere, criminalization of a consensual act. I think this is the crux of the matter. I think there is absolutely no warrant for it, and I must gently remind that post the Supreme Court judgment, as Mr. Rao rightly says, there was clear opposition by the BJP, there was clear support for the decriminalization.
Stick to your party. Mr. Rao will talk about his. Stick to your party.
Yes, and today, no, I am on the issue. I said rightly, I said Mr. Rao rightly. I am saying I can understand that they have not taken a view. But what I am saying is that today, how can there be possibly a view that consensual acts are criminalized? You see, there is that, you may have no civil rights for children or adoptees or, succession rights.
Okay.
Secondly, there can be issues about permitting such marriage or recognizing the statute. That's the second phase of the argument. It's not happened yet. But criminalization is something very different.
Absolutely. But let me stop you there, because actually I asked you about your party's position, not your view about whether something should be criminal or not. You made clear your party's position remains the same. It hasn't changed. It's precisely what it was in the May manifesto. Mr. Grover, you're the lawyer who's fighting the case for decriminalization on behalf of the Naz Foundation. After your petition was rejected last year, you said, your review petition, you said you would file a curative position. Have you done that? And if you have, where does it stand?
Well, the curative petitions have been filed. They are still awaiting hearing. We are waiting a date from the Supreme Court. And the moment we get that, we'll be ready to fire away. But let me comment on a couple of things. I'm glad there's some sort of a shift in the BJP. Unfortunately, the BJP and the government have not taken a strong view on this in terms of supporting decriminalization. The vast majority of the people in the BJP seem to be in favor of decriminalization. But I'm very glad that Mr. Rao and yesterday China NC did open up, and they are thinking of a debate. We would certainly like a dialogue with the BJP and the government, and we are happy that the Congress has taken a very firm position, and Mr. Singhvi is actually endorsing that. I know that AAP has also taken a position akin to Congress. So I think there's a good room for debate, and now is the time to think about decriminalization.
Let me put this to you, Mr. Rao. You've certainly suggested that the position taken by the BJP last year when the Supreme Court overturned the High Court is not necessarily the party position. There's a certain amount of rethinking happening. China NC, as you've just heard Mr. Grover say last night on another channel, actually said your party was not in favor of criminalizing. You've made it clear that your party would like to debate and discuss, and there's a possibility of change. Are there people like you in your party pressing the leadership to take a more progressive and enlightened view and to move to decriminalization?
I think certainly it is not a open and shut case where party had decided to close its doors on decriminalizing homosexuality. But certainly, I think there are views, there are different views, and there is not one view that had emerged so far that I am aware of. So certainly, let a discussion take place. The groups that have been advocating repealing of the act, I think, can engage with the government in discussion, and possibly even Congress party, which actually post a Supreme Court judgment talked about taking all possible measures, but could not really take any of them, possibly because elections were approaching fast and did not want to take a stand on the issue. They could also take a proactive position on this. I think this could possibly foster an early debate, and possibly a view can emerge across the political spectrum. Let me say this: we are a conservative society as a country, and there are many parties which have openly opposed this when the Supreme Court really gave its judgment. For instance, Samajwadi Party strongly supported the Supreme Court judgment. So there is unlikely to be a lot of support coming from regional parties. So if the Congress party has a position on this, has already taken a position on this, I think they should take a lot of initiative in pushing the discussion forward.
There's a very interesting and clear-cut hint coming, Abhishek Singhvi, from Narasimha Rao. He's actually suggesting quite openly that the Congress party should take an initiative to take the lead and push. And I suppose, but he hasn't said it in so many words, he believes that a little bit of pressure from the opposition would help the BJP come around to your position and decriminalize. Now, there are a lot of legislative areas where the government needs your support. Have you ever considered the possibility of saying to the government, we'd be far more willing to support things you want if you were also to take a step to decriminalize? Do a straightforward political deal, because that would be in the greatest interest of Indian homosexuals who otherwise are caught in a terrible trap not of their making.
Karan, there is no need for a hint. I cannot be more unequivocal. Come tomorrow, well, tomorrow means 28th of February or 24th of February when the parliament session starts. If the government could pass a constitutional amendment and a statutory amendment law on judges, National Judicial Commission, in 2.5 days flat, on the very first day of the next parliamentary session, with the principal opposition, the Congress, and some other smaller parties supporting it, the Congress can pass this legislation amendment. It's only an amendment, a deletion or a slight amendment, in less than 15 minutes or 2 hours or 4 hours on the first day. Where is the question? So that's a clear answer for you.
Just so that the audience can understand that clear answer, are you saying you will take the initiative? Give me a quick yes or no.
No, we can't. Government... No, current legislation is initiated in our system only by the government.
Absolutely, but you have the right. You have the right to say to the government that if you want our support on land acquisition or on the insurance bill, please do this as well. No. I'm saying do a straight political deal.
I am doing better. No. Why should there be a deal?
All right.
Why should you mix up other things?
All right.
We are saying if you want to pass this law, we'll support you. I am speaking on your program. Our manifesto says so. Where's the question of having a deal on land?
Can I come in?
I want to let me absolutely
a two-page amendment on the first
all right,
day.
I've heard you, Abhishek Singhvi.
Secondly,
it's much
better to have an amendment than to have a judicial reversal.
Don't hog their time. You've made your point. You've made a point. Let Anand Grover come in. Anand Grover, I want to put this to you. You're hearing a BJP spokesperson like Narasimha Rao and Shaina NC yesterday on another channel, and I personally applaud both of them, taking in public a stand that suggests that their party could change its position. He's actually hinting that the Congress should take the lead, perhaps because they need a bit of pressure from the opposition. But I want to ask you a wider question. The BJP, nonetheless, despite Mr. Narasimha Rao, remains dependent on the Sangh Parivar and the RSS, and their views on this subject are very different. So do you really believe that a party influenced by the Sangh Parivar as a whole will decriminalize homosexuality regardless of what you're hearing from Mr. Narasimha Rao and Shina NC?
Well, I think there are 2 points, and I want to take this up in the most constructive way possible. First of all, let me just remind Mr. Rao, whose statement I welcome, that the communities are fully endorsing a dialogue. Secondly, let us remember that the tradition in India, within the Hindu, the Muslim tradition is not to criminalize. It's only the British who criminalize. So we can engage in a dialogue with people who believe even in their religions. Thirdly, we don't need Congress if they don't want to support us. We need Congress to push the BJP if that is their role. If Mr. Singhvi is not ready to do that, we are prepared to come forward and dialogue with the government. And we will dialogue with all political parties, and we have been saying that from the beginning, that dialogue with the government, dialogue with all political parties is ongoing, because these issues are not political partisan issues. But I am happy that even Mr. Singhvi has endorsed the Congress party point of view, which is in the manifesto. And I see a shift within the BJP and perhaps within the government, and I know that Mr. Narasimha Rao is right when he says that there are people within the BJP who support our point of view. They may be a minority. Our job is to actually dialogue, advocate, and convince people that not only gay men, lesbian, transgenders, who are part of our historical tradition, they need to be treated equally, and to treat them as criminals because of their innate nature is wrong, unconstitutional,
Mr. Grover,
and not fit in the century that we are living in,
and
Mr.
not
in consonance with the development agenda of the Prime Minister.
A quick question, give me a short, accurate, sharp answer. You keep talking about how you're prepared to dialogue and ready to dialogue. Are you actually in dialogue behind closed doors with political parties, and in particular with the BJP? Is that process already underway?
Well, we are dialoguing with individuals, not formally or informally with the setup. Our job, and I'm very happy, I'm prepared to meet Mr. Narasimha Rao at any time that he suggests and take the move forward. I think it's a very welcome thing, and we want to explore that dialogue. So we can do that now openly. We were doing it behind closed doors, as it were, but now is the time to do it openly with all the political parties.
Mr. Narasimha Rao, this may be a somewhat awkward question, but I'm going to ask it because it's a critical question. People know that whether decriminalization happens or not really depends almost entirely on Mr. Modi's view of the matter. Do you know Mr. Modi's view of the matter?
No, I don't really claim to know any leader's views. But as a party, as I said, our stated position in the past had been that we have, our leaders have supported the view taken by the Supreme Court. But then there are, I think Mr. Grover says, there is a minority which supports the alternate view. So it's not going to be very easy. But if the reason why I mentioned the Congress party is the Congress party takes very convenient positions and also indulges in political opportunism.
No, let's not make it polemical at this last moment. Because they have a stated view on this, what prevents them to give a public statement? Well, they don't have to give a public statement. Their manifesto has already done that.
The party can make a formal statement.
I'm on your program.
You've just heard Mr. Singhvi re-endorse his manifesto
they have supported insurance also. They have supported FDI in insurance.
Okay.
They have supported.
Let's not make it polemical at this last moment. We had a wonderful emerging consensus, even if it was being expressed partly in code. But there was a wonderful consensus. I don't want to destroy it by letting politicians quibble for polemical reasons alone. Let's leave the audience with the belief that we have at least two spokespersons who are agreed with the need to decriminalize homosexuality. Let's hope Mr. Narasimha Rao's party endorses and supports the hints he's dropped today. And let's hope that you find very quickly that this issue is resolved in the sensible way and the matter is decriminalized. My thanks to all three of my guests for joining me. There we end this particular episode. Do have the thanks for watching. Goodbye.